Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending upon where you are. Here we are live with Bourbon Neophyte. What's up, everybody? Man, the chat's just filling up already, and I am grateful for that. Appreciate you all being here. Doing kind of a turnaround today. Originally was starting out with just a kind of a casual type of a chat and just figure out what's going on, what bottles you may have gotten this week. I've seen some people picked up the um, Jack Daniels, the Bonded, and I think it was a Sour Mash. Cheech on Whiskey Encore did a review of that. If I don't know if you guys had caught that, but I've noticed that that's been popping up, and I actually touched two of those bottles today, and I have a little insider information on that because, as you know, they've been flying off the shelf. So as soon as people saw them things come, they just popped right off the shelf because they ran and bought them. And so when I found out about it and I went to my normal hunt, within a few hours, they were gone. I mean, people jumped on them like a bum on a bologna sandwich, let me tell you. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I'm not a, how should I say, I'm not a base Jack Daniels type of a fan. I mean, it has its place in everybody's bar. It's a good drink for some. It's a great mixer. And, that's about where I feel it is. But they knocked it up to 100 proof. And, me, it's 100 or north. And now you sparked my interest. But anyway, I left the two that I actually held in my hand today at the store. But that being said, I'll go into that and we'll chat about that in a little bit. But today I did a little pilgrimage. Adam planted a seed in my head, aka Mr. Whiskey Shits, and so I did a little uh, about a 35-mile pilgrimage one way to a shop that he and I had went to before, and they had a store pick of Frey Ranch. Now, some of you may know, you may not know about Frey Ranch. I don't know how you would know about Frey Ranch unless you just crawled out from under a rock or something like that. But it is a distillery up in northern Nevada in Fallon. And so they've been that the farm itself. Okay, let's just start. It wasn't a distillery in the beginning. It changed into a distillery. So that being said, the farm's been in existence for over 150 years. I did look at the site and I don't remember what it is. And I've actually made some notes, but I'm not going to sit here and read everything from it. But they basically grow the grain, do what they need to do, distill it, age it, bottle it, and ship it. So they've been doing it a while. If you've tried their rye, their bourbons, their standard expression, basically, it's not bad. But I will say this, it wasn't my thing until I got to try the higher proof stuff in a store pick. So once I tried that, and it's been a little bit, and I went, wow, that sounds delicious. So I did a little pilgrimage today. And like I said, so I went up and I actually went to the place that had it, sampled it, and said, wow, this has potential. So that being said, I picked one up. And on the way home, I really thought about the stream and what I was going to do. And I'm changing it up a bit. And we're really going to talk and review this particular Frey Ranch. However, I'm going to line it up next to some other higher proof bourbons just to see how it will stack up. And also something that I don't normally do whenever I am reviewing, particularly a bourbon, is I have purposely got myself a little bit of distilled water, and we are really going to do a dive into this thing. And I'm going to throw a drop or two of water in it just to see how things change up when I get into it. Now I have 3 glasses already poured, been sitting, I'm going to say 15, 20 minutes now. Let me look at this. I'm going to say about 20 minutes now. So it has a little chance and time to open up in the glass. And I poured about half ounce, a little more in each glass because since I'm starting up here, it's really going to be hard for me to come down to something lower. But then as I was thinking about it today, I said, you know what? What about it's not as high a proof as this Frey Ranch, and we'll get into the proof here in a minute. But I thought, you know what? I put it up there anyway. Well, actually, I put two of them up there anyway. I put up a Knob Creek and the Elijah Craig A121. The Knob Creek, this is a pick. It's called Hobby Nobby. It's 120 on the proof. The A121 is 123.6. So pretty much everything that I'm going to sip is going to be north of about 115. Doing the comparison just to see how they hold up, so on and so forth. But the primary one we're going to talk about a little bit is going to be the Frey Ranch. So let me just say cheers to everybody here in chat. Let me just go back here a little bit and just say, hey, Marty, appreciate you. Yes, please, everybody, take a minute, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, please. That's how we get recognized on YouTube. It helps the algorithm and things get out there. Also, if you're new to the channel, please make sure not only do you hit that like button, that you hit that subscribe button. And then once you do that, there's a little bell. Make sure you click on all. So you will be notified whenever I produce a video or do another live. If you don't check that, you just don't get notified. And I will say there are times that I'm not blaming YouTube, but as we all know, sometimes there's a glitch. Even though you checked it, it doesn't seem to register. So you have to go in off and on. I got an email from somebody a little bit ago, says, hey, something happened. You know, I'm not getting notified. And I explained it to him. I said, because I've had to do it before. And I will say once on Livewire, I had to go back in and recheck that box, unclick it, click it again for some reason to get it to register. Same thing even with Whiskey Encore. Sometimes I just didn't get notified that they were going on. But it happens. It's not a problem. That seems to be the fix, and it works. But anyway, let me just catch up here in chat and just to say, Marty, appreciate you coming here. Thank you. Doug, always appreciate you guys down there. Mr. Whiskey Shits, I think this thing is going to be superb. Just going to need some time in the bottle to really open up. But the original tasting that I had, like I told you, it shows promise. Hey, Mr. Morgan. Yes, I saw you earlier. Great chat between Alan and Dustin today. Very interesting. I kind of was lurking as I was getting ready for this, and I'm listening to that. I mean, great conversation, great dialogue on Alan's channel today. That's for sure. Greg, good morning. Very early morning to you, and thank you for showing up. Brian, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Thank you for popping on. Hanging AZ, I knew you'd be here. There was no doubt in my mind. I even, just in case you wanted some, I've got the long branch ready. So don't you worry. Let me move down here a little bit. Sugar Kitty, as usual, always appreciate you. Thank you for popping on. Man, really, really do appreciate you. Thank you very much. Sean, thank you, thank you, thank you. I will be posting the link here in a little bit for those of you that want to pop on. So please do me a favor, just stand by and relax a moment. I actually meant to email it out to a few, just that got busy when I got home putting stuff together because I decided to call an audible and change exactly what I was going to do and how I was going to do it tonight. Only because I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. Got an idea. And so, of course, that's just how things go and how things happen here on YouTube. Stacy, what's up? Nice to see you. And guess what? That one Irish whiskey we were talking about, I saw them today. Not Slain. Silky. Oh, darn it. Anyway, you said it's lightly peated and about 46 ABV. Anyhow, I can't remember how many different expressions were there. Let me know, because now I'm starting to see them here because you brought it to my attention and I saw that one. So I'm going to start picking some of those up, particularly because I do like that possibly slightly peaty little note and stuff that's in there. So that intrigues me a lot. Hey, fifth quarter tailgate. Cheers, brother. Thank you for popping on. Always a pleasure to have you here, Scott. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Story time. I knew I saw you floating around here, man. Thanks for popping in. I knew you would, especially when somebody starts talking about bourbon. And if most of you don't know who Story Time is, make sure that you go and check them out, particularly go on the web and look up Storytime. If you are not part of that, please make sure you go and read up about it. And if you want to get some great picks at good prices, trust me, the people that are working on that, they're doing a good job to see that they get some quality whiskey out there. I mean, really good people, really good people. So that being said, let me just hurry up quick, go through chat. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I mean, the chat's blowing up. Rob, I knew you'd be here. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But I agree with you. Spend time where you are at. If you want to throw something up in chat, great. But you don't need an invitation to join in once I pop that up, brother. Always. Oh, see, you ask on this channel and boom, here it is. Okay. Okay. All right. I think it was the legendary one I saw. I think that's it. And it did say lightly peated on the bottle. I should have taken a picture of it and sent it to you, but you know what? It happens. I have moments a lot throughout the day. So I had a moment there. So it happens. But anyway, let's get into this Frey Ranch. So, like I said, let me grab this thing real quick. It's a hefty little bottle, and it's not little by any means. But anyway, let me just get this a little closer. The camera will focus here in a second, so let me get it away from me. Here we go. If you can see that, hold up, back up. Here we go. Here we go. Back over. All right. Frey Ranch. And if you look, different label. So it's a pick. And yes, you're reading it right. It says 67.85 ABV. So they say it's 137.70 on the ABV, but did a little fact checking, and I had one of my experts confirm it for me that when you do the math on that, if you take 67.85 times 2, that's 135.7. Now they say it's 137.7. I think maybe, and I don't know this, but might have been a oops when they were writing it because it's all handwritten on that. So my particular bottle, let me turn it around, is bottle number 12 from barrel 1032. So number 12. So it's the 12th bottle from barrel number 1032. There wasn't anything that says when it was actually put, in the bottle, but this particular juice in here, because I talked to the people that did the pick and said it's 6 years old is what they told me. And they says, that's not bad. And I'm like, okay. So it doesn't taste young or anything like that, because like I said, I had one sip of it earlier, and I have not had anything before it, nor have I had anything after that sip. And that sip was around, noon my time, so 3 o'clock your time on the East Coast there. So that being said, let me pop that off real quick. So I personally thought it was pretty good. So I cannot complain or anything like that. But I'm going to get into that now. I'm going to say all of these that I have here have been opened for about 30 minutes. The Frey Ranch and the other one I'm doing a little comparison with it is this one is the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof coming in at about 130.5. Oh, 130.9 on the proof. Okay, so I've got that poured in the glass. And just to see if it holds up and what it's like, I have a store pick from Liquor Lineup of Woodinville. and the Woodinville's 117 on there. So we're going to see. But I have a couple of others up there that I don't know, depending upon how the night goes. I may do a little pour and just see what's what. But the main thing is I like to support local distillers, particularly in the Nevada, or excuse me, in the Nevada area. Oh my God, in the state of Nevada. Sorry, in the state of Nevada. So right down the street from me. It's literally not down the street. It's a few miles away, but I got a smoke wagon right here. Then, of course, up north in Fallon, we have Frey Ranch, and then in Henderson, it's the Las Vegas Distillery. So, which I've had some spirits from them before, but many years ago. But I will tell you, I wasn't disappointed. I don't have any now. However, I will be getting some more, and then I'm going to do a little review on that. But anyway, let me grab this. So this is the Frey Ranch, and I had to mark the glass just so I know what in the heck it is. But here it is in the glass. It's dark. It has a nice color to it. It had some decent viscosity whenever I originally sipped it. I'm waiting for the legs to develop and show up here, so I'm going to give it a second. But nice nose. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a nice nose. I'm not getting tons of ethanol or anything like that, but like I said, it's been open a half hour. I was going to put lids on them, but I said, no, I want the ethanol out. Let's let it breathe and see what happens. Because like I said, I got 2 fresh cracks in here with the Jack Daniels and the Frey Ranch. So let's just see. Yeah, the nose is very good. Very pleasant. Very pleasant on the nose. And one thing I want to mention on this Frey Ranch, and Greg brought it to my attention because he said, nice bottles. I'm going through some of the chat there. If you've ever had one of these, this is one hefty little cork, and it's synthetic, people. Sorry. So if you're a purist, you're going to be mad, but I don't care. Anyway, this is a nice, hefty cork. I mean, it is. It has some heft to it, like Discovery Series in Bardstown. Remember where they used to be? You grab them things, you go, oh man, feel that cork. This has some weight to it. So it's a nice cork, but like I said, it's a synthetic cork, people. So please don't be upset, but I don't care about that. I am good with that. It is a very nice bottle, and it does itself have some weight to it. So that being said, those of us that like to have some decent corks and stuff on there. So let's go with that. And like I said, the nose is good on it. I'm not getting a lot of ethanol or anything like that on this thing right away. I'm very happy with the way it's starting off right now. And normally I've had a glass and I've had a chance to sit with it and maybe even a second pour before I really do a review, so I know. This is totally live, off the cuff. Like I said, I had that little thimble sip at the store when I picked it up. So I was like, wow. And I will say this, it doesn't drink like it's 130 plus proof. It's a higher proof, absolutely. But I don't think it drinks hot. At least I didn't. And I don't think it drinks like you would expect it to drink at a proof above 135. All right. So that being said, so far, so good. Like I said, nice nose, definitely getting, I can smell the grain, if that makes sense to you. I can smell the grain in there. Definitely getting the caramels, the sweetness, the vanilla, the brown sugar, standard straight bourbon type of notes that you would get out of something like that. So nothing, all I'm saying is it's not anything that I wouldn't expect you guys to get out of it. So I'm gonna quit talking about it, and I'm gonna take another sip here. I mean, well, another sip. I haven't had a sip in a while, but I'm gonna take a sip. So I'm not gonna say anything right now, but some of the stuff I told you about the nose is on the palate. but I want that shock wave, what I call it, to go away. Getting some spice there on the tongue, especially the sides, a little heat. It is not bad at all. As a matter of fact, there's a nice sweetness to it. So I'm going to just take another second here to let that go. The legs are nice. I don't know if it will show up. Let's just take a look if any of you can see them, but we'll let the camera do its thing here for a second. Let me just get my ugly mug out of the way. Can you see the legs coming down off of that thing? Let me turn a little bit more. They're slow. They're slow moving. They're not in a hurry. So you got some decent viscosity to it. Hope you guys could see that. But this was a pretty nice first sip. Let me get a little bit of the second one. Yeah. Okay. Definitely sweetness. Definitely. Almost going to say, am I getting like a mint from a rye? I don't know. Almost tastes like it here on the finish, but definitely sweetness. Definitely your caramel, your vanilla, your cinnamon. Definitely cinnamon for the spice. You're getting that. Maybe even your baking spice here on the finish. It's rolling up on that, but it is definitely not overpowering. It is not overwhelming. Get this thing down past the shoulder here in a little bit. I think it's going to do quite well. Mm. Wow. Jack, I did send you a chat. So when you get a chance, go ahead and reply on Reddit. So when you do, we'll exchange information. Wow, man, that's nice. Definitely gives you a little bit of a hug going down, but it's not anything bad. I mean, it isn't. It's a nice sip. I am not disappointed in this thing at all. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to have to add uh, a little bit more to this to go ahead and get into it a little more. But before I do anything else with this, um, I'm going to go ahead and try some of these other ones against this. But like I said, I may have to add a little more. So just wanted to clear off the palate a little bit there. Man, that's good. Definitely getting the brown sugar, like a caramelized brown sugar on this. So I'm going to set that down, and I think it's good. We'll get back to it. I'm going to pick up the Jack Daniels, the one here, the single barrel proof at 130. Now, right off the bat, if you know, I'm getting banana on this one, but that's just me. But I hurried up and just got a it just smelled like banana, almost like it does when I'm drinking Old Forester. You know, I get that banana pop on there. Cheech, what's up, man? I get that banana on there, but let's just see how this does against the Frey Ranch. And I have never touched this since I bought it, and I've had it over a year, so I've never even experienced it before. Well, that might be a lie. I might have had a sip of one in a store to try it out, but to my recollection, I've never had it. Yeah, definitely getting some banana on there, without a doubt. Wow. I'm gonna take another sip on that. Mm. That's pretty darn good. Not bad. I do know it's a lower proof, not because mentally I know it, but I could tell between the Frey Ranch and this, and we're only talking maybe 5 points, 6 at the most, but you know that's a little lower or a little lighter, but I wouldn't have a problem going from this Frey Ranch, the store pick, down to this, or from this up to this. Just knowing what I do know right now, yeah, I don't have a problem or anything like that. I think it's pretty good so far. So the Jack Daniels comes in at 130.9. The Frey Ranch, they say 137.7. But nice nose, standard Jack Daniels profile on that, but definitely has more sweetness on the nose. Yep. Yeah, no problem. Absolutely no problem. It's lighter than the Frey Ranch. I'm going to say real close in viscosity because it coats the mouth nicely, just like the Frey Ranch did. So Jack Daniels single barrel proof. I don't think it's going to have a problem. If you're going from A to B or B to A, but you just know that this is definitely a lighter proof. You can tell that it doesn't quite have that hug that the Frey Ranch does when it goes down, and not that that is bad with the Frey Ranch. Let me just say that's fine. I'm not having an issue or anything like that. Wow, that smells amazing because I like that banana smell on that Jack Daniels. So far, so good with the Frey Ranch and the Jack Daniels. So let me just clear off the palate a little bit and just say, hey, everybody, I saw a biking bourbon in there. Just wanted to say cheers. Thank you for popping on. Cheech, again, thanks for popping on. Um, but Cheech, saw your stream, on the Jack Daniels, the bonded and the, was it sour mash? Yeah. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. And I don't know if Cheech mentioned it or not because I was in and out, because I was on Whiskey Wars prior to watching some of his stream. And well, you tendency to have a few pours. So I was in between getting a little snack and watching that because if I would have sat here, I'd have kept having a few more pours and then you get tired. Well, anyway. So let's try this Woodinville at 117.5. No, absolutely. It's almost compared to the Frey Ranch, 20 points below. But this, what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. This is a store pick. The one that I'm on now is a store pick from Liquor Line up here. And I think I've showed you guys this before. That's the tater sticker on the back. This was a nice one. And I don't like the standard expression of Woodinville. I mean, I know it's probably Sean's favorite there at Whiskey Wars, but it's okay. What you like is what you like. And I'm kidding. He's not a big fan of it either. So that being said, I happen to like this. And at 117 on the proof, I thought, man, this was pretty flavorful. Definitely huge difference going from A to B and now C. Huge difference. I might have a little palate shock because the Frey Ranch and the Jack Daniels are close and similar. So I was getting a lot of different flavors, but the Jack Daniels was holding its own. When you jump down to the Woodinville and the 117, I think we dropped down too far on the proof for it to really shine. But again, I've got plenty and I can always pour more to see how this is going to go. But the sweetness is still there. And yep, I know I'm going to say this, but on the Woodinville, I always get to me, kind of a, I'm going to just take another, just to make sure. I'm getting a little maraschino type of a cherry note on it there. I love that. And I would get that on my Wilderness Trail, particularly after it sat a few months. And that first bottle I ever had of Wilderness Trail, I pushed it to the back and forgotten it had about that much in there. I mean, not much from the bottom. And when I realized, oh, I got to kill this thing, I had a pour of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that Wilderness Trail was amazing. And I've got a little bit of that maraschino type cherry note on this thing. And I'm like, oh man, this is like, I love the nose on this thing, on the Woodenville. I mean, it is really good because it's got that cherry on there. However, after doing the Frey Ranch and Jack Daniels, popping down to 117, yeah, I'm going to say this can't hold a candle to the other ones as far as the flavor and the proof. But now that my palate's kind of calming down a bit and I had the first sip on that, let me get another one going here. Yeah, much better on this next sip of the Woodenville. The flavors pouring in, the viscosity, the finish, it is really good now. Like I said, it just needed a minute for everything to settle down and calm down after the other ones, but it's really good. I still love that maraschino cherry smell on that thing. It's really good. Wow. So I'm going to set that down. I'm going to get a drink of water here. Sorry. Yeah. When you're drinking some high proofs, you gotta have a little water from time to time because excuse me, it'll get you. But I'm good. I'm going to pour just a little bit more of this Frey Ranch in the glass over there because I really don't want to ruin it with a drop of water for the amount that's in the glass. And oh, don't worry, I'll drink it. So you can see what's in there. And, if I put a drop of water in that, it's really not going to be a good enough reference. There's not enough in there to give it a really good go. Here we go. Now we got to get a little bit more in the glass there, and I'll let that set just a few minutes there. Let me put the stopper back on this thing. And like I said, I don't normally add water to whiskey. I don't. Even in the summer, and people throw ice in there because they want to cool it down. It's hot. I'll use the whiskey stone. The whiskey stone doesn't water it down, but it brings the temperature of the whiskey down a little bit, makes it more enjoyable for me on a warm day. So I'm using a very scientific device here to put the water in, a straw. So I have distilled water in a glass here, and I'm going to just, whoops, helps if you put a little water in the straw, Anthony, and then just go ahead and give it just a little drop there. Come on, you can do it. There we go. All right. There is about 2 little drops of water in here. And let me just give it a minute. Let me swirl around. And as those of you who watch ADHD whiskey say, let's make it dizzy. Let's make it dizzy here a little bit. And like I said, there's about 2 drops of water in there, give or take. I'm going to say give, but it's very scientific, very scientific. Wow. It got more floral on the nose. Just right off the bat, just adding that little bit of water, it got more floral. Yeah, very floral. I don't want to say roses, but that's what comes to my head. on that. And maybe even, well, out here, there's some honeysuckle. And maybe kind of a cross between that on there. And like I said, that's just with about 2 drops of water. So now that that's set, we've spun it up a little bit, made it dizzy, as Mr. Porter would say. Let's just give it another one there so it can do its thing and get the esters all hyped up and worked up, and let that water get in there and do its little thing there. And let's just see here. Cheers. Let's take a sip. Wow. Those 2 little drops of water to me made it sweeter. It really brought out a little more of the sweetness of the bourbon in there. I don't know what char level in the barrel they use. Didn't say that on the website or anything like that. I would love to know that. But yeah, that 2 drops of water really did the thing on that as far as the flavor goes. I'm like, wow, huh. So I'm going to take another sip of this just as it is. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know. And then I just may add another drop or two just to see if it, you know, does anything to it as far as goes the wrong way. Might as well at this point. I'm not going to really hurt anything. But right now it's looking at just a drop literally or two. And I'm not using a teaspoon. And like I said, I'm literally, if you have an eyedropper, drop, that would be perfect in about an ounce to an ounce and a half of whiskey. And then I added just about a half ounce in here and a little bit over a half ounce when I added the water. So just so you guys understand as far as what was in here prior and then about what I added to it. So I'm probably back to that half ounce mark, give or take. Wow, the viscosity is amazing. The oiliness. I'm exhaling through my nose to see what else I get out of that. Wow, that's good. I can only imagine what's going to happen to this once I get it past the shoulder, and then I'm going to have to put it to the back of the shelf to let it open up, give it about a week to 2 weeks, and then go back to that thing because holy smokes, that's pretty darn good. And like I said, that I just added 2 drops of water, and I don't think you guys ever had seen me add water on a stream to whiskey in general. I have done it with a Scotch, of course, not just whiskey, but I have done it with that, and particularly the 21-year-old Glengoyne. I found that literally 2 drops of distilled water into about an ounce and a half, pour 2 ounces. Heaven, unbelievable! Was that good? Unbelievable. But oh wow, still the nose is very very good on that Frey Ranch. Very good. Mm, wow. Now let me clear off the palate. I probably shouldn't, but I will. I'm going to go ahead and put some more Jack Daniels in the glass, and I'm going to add just a couple of drops of water to it. I won't do it with the Woodford, I don't think, because the proof is just too low, and I just don't think that you need to proof that down at all to get the flavor. I got the flavor once I got the original shock from the Frey Ranch and the Jack Daniels had settled down, and I went into that second sip of the Woodford pick. It was fine just the way it was. Really, really was. Really was fine just the way it was. So I'm going to take care of just a little housekeeping while I'm here and people are in chat. I appreciate all of you. Sorry, I'm not particularly watching the chat because I'm into this review, but out of the corner of my eye, I'm following along, and I appreciate you guys for carrying on the conversation. And Stacy, I'm watching you talking to Greg, and Greg, chiming in there, and Doug. I know there's some more, but they're the ones that I keep catching out of the corner of my eye. So I appreciate you guys doing that for me as I am doing my thing here. And honestly, I really, 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 really do appreciate you all. Oh, now what's wrong? Oh, sorry, operator error. I was like, wow, where am I at on this thing? Okay, let me put this up there. Let me smack that. Let me go here. Let me pin that. All right, so I have pinned that up there. I don't understand this. What is this? How was Hanging AZ not a mod here? I don't understand that. All right, Hanging, I did take care of that. I don't know how that happened. Goodness gracious. All right, should be pinned up there. Okay, let me get back over to here. So let me pour a little of this, more of this. Yeah. I can't add water to that. Not. Excuse me. I told you when you're on these higher proof bourbons, you gotta. Man, I don't like the way that cork fits anymore in there. It's not as it's not as tight as it once was. Not at all. But we'll have to keep an eye on it. Let me just get a little bit more in there. Sean, I see you in the background. I'll be there in just a minute, brother. Let me put this back up there. Okay, so I added a little more JD to it. I am going to go ahead and put in just a drop or two of water. Just look at something here. I'm doing my own little experiment right now, just so I can. Yep, that was one. Hold on. Let me get the other one in there. Two. Literally 2 drops of water in with the Jack Daniels. Let's do the Matt Porter ADHD whiskey thing. Let's make it dizzy. Let that thing just spin there a bit, and let me bring in another connoisseur of bourbon.
You're giving me too much praise there, Anthony, but appreciate it. How we doing, man?
Oh, good. Let me just give this another minute or so here in the glass, and let me get it going. But so far, I'm really happy with the Frey Ranch pick. Yeah, but I just can't get over this banana note on the Jack Daniels. If I'd have known that a year ago, I'd have been into that.
Yeah. So I broke out mine as well. Right now I'm finishing off a little bit of the Balcones we talked about last night. But
yeah. For the people that weren't on your stream last night, just give them a quick rundown while I what you had last night in that Balcones and what you discovered. Just bear with me, people, here while I get some stuff ready, because man, this is good. What's up, Jeffrey?
Yeah, so this is just the entry Balcones. There's so everybody can
see.
Hold
on, I'll highlight you.
Yeah. So just the 92 proof, 46% ABV. And I'm surprised, actually. Got it on sale at Kroger, just kind of bought it on a whim. It's only the first kind of budget Texas bottle I've had, so I wasn't sure what to expect, but decent. A lot of dark fruit notes, a lot of brown sugar coming through, obviously. But I really am enjoying here. Let's get a proper sip here. I want to do just a quick review, let's say.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to give this another minute in the glass. with the water.
Yeah, so like there's like this kind of sweet plum note. That's probably the most prominent note, other than your standard bourbon notes, and that's kind of interesting because you don't find that a whole lot. There's also kind of like this grape jelly thing going on. Lots of char, which I like. I like a lot of char in my bourbons. I mean, what's interesting to me, and then on the finish, you get like this really nice like coffee mocha note, which is, you know, like as I mentioned last night, not something you get from a only 2-year-old product. It says aged at least 24 months, so it's just a little over 2 years, I assume. So pretty cool to be getting that dark of notes on such a young whiskey. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Pretty good.
Good. Well, let's see how this
And cheers,
Jack
to
Daniels
with
2 drops of water is going to hold up here. Let's see what's cooking. Oh, thanks, Richie Z. I was just going to put that out and say someone popped that up there, and there you go.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. I don't know if you're being facetious, Lou, or if that's true. Either way, yeah, I mean, it tastes like they do a heavy char, which I like. I like heavy charred bourbon. So, yeah, good stuff.
Wow. I don't know. I may have to change my opinion about on a drop of water or so in whiskey, especially when you get up north of 120, 125, 130 on the proof.
So you're doing with the Jack now, right?
Yeah, I'm in with the Jack Daniels, and oh man,
well, you know
flavor, what? Just that 2 drops of water.
I will join you in that, Anthony. So I'm about to finish off this Balcones. Got my little dropper here we were talking about last night. So well, I got water.
You saw my scientific tool too, right?
Oh yeah. That works
exactly
just well.
Very scientific here. I mean, you know, we spare no expense on Bourbon Neophyte.
Well, I mean, so the only reason I even have this, because normally I would not go out and buy this like on its own. It came with my sample bottles.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a bunch of them now. I got like 6. I need to start giving them out to people. You need one? All I'm going to do is 6 of them. Anyway.
Hey, trust me, you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not bad at all.
You're still sipping on the old tree. No, yeah, that bottle's going to sit for a long time. So just so everyone knows what AZ is referencing there, this is another bottle I got this week. And just warning to anyone that didn't see last night.
Let me highlight that because it's a very important public service announcement.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't buy this bottle. Okay, see the stave in there? Can you see that? That is
you might not.
Let's see here. Come on, focus, camera.
Well, I see the bottle, but I can't quite. I see it now. I see it.
Yeah, that stave is the problem. It is so overly oaked. It's just tannic, and it's also, I'm not sure that's like a chunk of oak. I don't think it is. I think it's like pressed like plywood. And
it probably is.
Come on, camera. And it's just, it tastes like chemical wood and tannic, and it's just way overly oaked. It's just not good.
Well,
not good at all.
Let me just say, this Jack Daniels is good. And I'm referring to the single barrel proof, and I want to make sure people know that may have tuned in that it is not the standard Jack Daniels by any means. I don't have a use for that unless somebody actually requests it or they want it in a mixed drink. But this is really good, really good.
And Jeffrey Wack, I'm actually in Southern Kentucky, but I mean, if you're in Northern Kentucky, we could plan a meetup for sure. Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. So I'm actually south of Lake Cumberland in Wayne County. But I mean, I can, it's not like I say, if you were in Louisville or Cincinnati, it's only like 3 hours. So it's not that bad of a drive. We could definitely meet up if you want to do that. And thank you, Richie, for saying that. Yeah, that'd be great to get to 1K here soonish, the next few months. That'd be awesome. So thank you guys for all the support. Go ahead, Anthony.
I'm going to go back to the Woodinville at 117. I mean, like I said, I don't think I need to put some water in it, but at this point, It can't hurt. And what's left in here,
Spirit Dog Spence.
I'll get rid of it, guaranteed. So I'm going to go ahead and do it just because, and literally a drop of water in this thing.
So Anthony, are you saying that like before adding the water, you weren't a big fan of the JD? Is that?
No, I never had it before.
Oh,
I've
okay,
had it for over a year, and I just didn't touch it. I've had, and I said, I think I've had a sample, I was somewhere and someone poured me some. Like, oh, yeah, it's good. So it's how I ended up buying that, but I've just never got to it. So when I picked up this Frey Ranch today on the way home, I started thinking about the stream, and I'm like, I've got this, I've got that, I've got this. Well, why don't I do a high proof review, put the Frey Ranch against A, B, C, and so on and so forth. And, I just thought about it. And then my wife and I were eating, and I said, that's what I'm going to do. So I got home and did the 180-degree turnaround on the stream, changed the title, and did some other little things, and then run around getting things going. And I'm like, wow. So I got the drop of water in the Woodford. So literally one drop in the Woodford, only because of the amount that's in the glass.
right.
We added water to the Frey Ranch. We added water to the Jack Daniels, and those two were amazing with just 2 drops of water.
Right.
Amazing. So the Frey Ranch, I really didn't want to, but I thought, well, I've added it to the rest. Why not? Let's see what it does. The viscosity in it, though, is still good. It's got some nice rings on it. Oh, that's funny. Wow. That cherry note, that maraschino cherry note that I was talking about earlier, intensified a bit more.
Interesting.
With just that little drop of water. Wow. So let's see what happened on the palate.
Let's hear it, Anthony. All right, we're going very scientific here. 1, 2. Well, maybe 3. Okay.
If you've got at least an ounce in there or more, I don't think 3 will hurt it. But
yeah,
let me tell you what.
That's what I got there. So 3 drops.
That 1 drop of water in this Woodford. Oh my God, Woodinville. Sorry, Woodinville.
Those barrel proofs are working, man. Hey, it's okay.
It turned out to be an okay addition. Just 1 drop of water in it turned out to be it's good. The flavor is about the same. I will say, though, the sweetness popped a bit more. Just a bit. It's not like the other ones did. No, because I think the higher proof is what makes those over this one, because they're a lot higher than this one. But that lousy drop of water, holy smokes.
So some great chat here on that Oak and Eden. So Greg's Whiskey Guide, I don't know, what a crazy idea. No saves. Agreed. Yeah, they should not have done that. Maybe it's pressure treated so it can age longer.
You know what?
It tastes like
we didn't think about that last night. You're right.
it could be. It could very well be pressure man, let's see if I can get it out of here. Pressure treated plywood. I think it's a pied laminated flooring. It could be. All those are possibilities.
Exactly.
Copyright old tree for it. Yeah. I tell you. I don't know what they were thinking over there at Oak and Eden, but hey, Mark, Northwest Bourbon. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, I meant to call him out earlier, but got onto this and it's like, wow, but that's really good. So you know what now I'm thinking? I'm thinking I'm going to finish this off.
Just slung JD all over my keyboard, but that's all right.
So why not, while we're here, because I don't think anyone would mind, let's get an Elijah Craig barrel proof at 123.6, batch A121. Let's just see how this does with the other ones there. And can you imagine? I have a Glen right here ready to go.
There we go.
I
I
know
got
you all find it hard to believe, but I do. Oh, nice pop on that.
I got to say, Anthony, I'm popping my adding water cherry as well. Um,
Well,
and
it's not something that I always did. It's just to me, it was like, no, no, it is what it is.
yeah,
Like it, people. But I'm always open to new things and I'll listen. Doesn't always mean I'll do it. But like I said, on the way home, I had really time to think about it after I picked this up. And I'm like, you know what? I just got to do it. I just got to do it. I've got to do the whole gambit this
yeah,
time. So
yeah.
what do you think so
So
far with that
the,
Jack
no,
Daniels after you
the
had that
nose,
water?
the nose is basically the same.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not a huge change on the nose, but the palate is way more interesting now. Because this JD, it's 130.9, so not
Yep.
crazy high, but certainly high. Um, and man, it really opened it up, and a lot more flavors coming through than before. So before, I kind of got this like kind of grape jelly peanut butter banana thing, but it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of covered up by the alcohol burn. And so just those 3 drops of water, and now it's way more interesting. There's so many other flavors coming through. I'm still getting those other notes I mentioned, but now it's yeah. I think you may have converted me as well, Anthony. This is a good idea, people. Get droppers.
And you
or
know what, Hanging AZ? I think you're right. I think if I add some water to the Long Branch, it would help. So if I take that thing to the sink and I pour it in my trap, I bet you that would help that bottle immensely.
You know what, Anthony? I gotta say, just for craps and giggles, I think it'd be fun for you to pour a little Long Branch and just add a
Oh,
drop
I'm
of.
not. That's like what 83 proof or
I
84
know, but
proof compared to this. I might as well drink water.
who knows? Who knows? Maybe next stream. Maybe next stream. Let's see what water does to Long Branch. I'm sure everyone will tune in to see
Oh,
Anthony.
yeah, I'm sure they will. Water, a already watered down whiskey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's see how the Elijah Craig A121 at 123.6 does against Frey Ranch and Jack Daniels. It will probably more than likely overpower the Woodenville at 117, of course.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, so and two, just ACBPs tend to be so dark compared to a lot of the barrel proofs that they even at lower proofs they just kind of take over.
I
Um,
just hope it doesn't eat away anything, Sugar Kitty.
you're gonna have really clean pipes, Anthony. Think about it that way. I think all in the future, all your patrons get a free sample of Long Branch from Anthony. That's going to be his signature.
Well, you know what? If they're going to actually give me money, I couldn't do that to them. Right? I just couldn't. Unless someone said, man, I'd really love some Long Branch. I might figure out a way to hermetically seal that bottle then and send it to them and saying, here, enjoy.
See, I'm with AZ though. I like that what he just said. Scott Pigsley, he describes it the same way that Lay's barbecue chip note. I just kind of get a general kind of barbecue note, which reminds me of like barbecue bourbon. So a lot, here in Kentucky, there's a lot of places that do bourbon in their barbecue, and so it just reminds me of that. So. Good memories is what it is for me. I know that that's not the road that you've chosen, Anthony, but
yeah, it definitely is not. It is definitely not for me. I mean, it's not that, I don't want to say this. It's just not for me. You're right. It's just not for me. But
hey,
anyway,
man, I get it. Woodenville is kind of my thing. I've made that infamous. And now maybe this Okaneden is probably, I think it's probably the top dog for worst bourbon I've ever had. Because it's truly awful. I can see you're thinking, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, man, this Elijah Craig barrel proof, trumps the Woodinville. But remember,
Mm.
it's 12-year
Oh,
versus
yeah.
NAS at 117 that may be 5 or 6 years old at best. All right. But it's good. It is good. But the 12-year-old Elijah Craig and the barrel proof, the A121, is just much more refined. Much more refined. And so,
Oh, yeah.
since I'm on the water kick, I'm going to put a drop of water in this thing. It doesn't need it. It's perfect just the way it sets. But,
I can't believe
I
how
don't want to
much
make Sugar Kitty upset and not do it,
barbecue plus KC 120 equals fire. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Don't pour the bourbon directly onto your barbecue while you're while it's on the grill or in your smoker or whatever the case. Yeah, don't do that. That's a bad idea. You want to pre-mix the bourbon into your barbecue sauce if you're a sauce kind of person. I personally am. I think sauce makes everything better. So. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Andrew, exactly. But like I've said before, it does have its place, particularly if people are new to bourbon. It's not, how do I say this? It's not my cup of tea. It just doesn't agree with me. But it has it's not overly complex, but it has some subtleties or nuances that a straight bourbon doesn't have, because when they filter it through that mesquite charcoal, all right, so it gives it something that you can show them, okay, this is another way to finish bourbon through this process, which is mesquite, and let them experience it. And they may like it, for under $40. Okay. But it's just not my cup of tea. And like I said, I've got a chunk of that bottle down, but it's going to be a while. Hopefully it evaporates soon, but
Well, I mean, so
for me.
So what's interesting, as far as like the different kinds of charcoal mellowing, like I can't stand low proof JD because of the charcoal mellowing takes over especially on the finish, and I don't like it at all. But for some reason the mesquite works for me. And so like when I first bought it, I was apprehensive because I assumed I would have an experience similar to what you have, Anthony, that I would just kind of be repulsed by it. But I kind of like the mesquite is a little bit of a different animal, and so it's kind of it's interesting to me instead of being like, because the JD process to me gives it like this funky, earthy, like dirty kind of vibe that I just don't really care for. But anyway.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, like I said, Long Branch has its place. It's just not, its place isn't in my heart. That's all. If you want to sit there and drink it, you go right ahead. I may laugh and snicker inside myself, but if it was in front of you, I'd probably just do it anyway, just because.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah.
So, I think that's what this whiskey community needs more of. There used to be a time where guys that drank whiskey just gave other guys, you just kind of mess with each other. That's what you do when you're drinking whiskey and you're sitting around chatting. I hope we can get back there without people getting butthurt.
Yeah.
Because like that's like some of the best parts of like hanging out with guys drinking whiskey is, you screw around with each other and you have a good time and nobody gets offended and
Oh yeah, don't you worry. Hanging AZ is not going to let me forget I got Long Branch directly behind me.
Absolutely.
No matter how hard I try. But so adding a drop of water to the Elijah Craig A121, I'm going to say really no change. And it could be because of the higher proofs I had between the Frey Ranch, the Jack Daniels,
and you're a few in now. So,
well, I mean, if it's a whole ounce I've had, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, that's
Well, okay, no, ounce and a half. I'll give you that because 4 glasses, half ounce each, and I haven't finished but one, literally. But
yeah.
no, it's good. And I actually let me move this. I have another store pick Woodenville back there that's 119 that I haven't cracked yet, and it's from a whiskey club here in Vegas.
So I'm looking. I don't know if Mark is still in chat. Hopefully he is. Hopefully he is and hears this. But so Mark, I have many things planned for your samples. I have to my left here, and one of them is doing kind of what you're doing, Anthony, doing a kind of a barrel proof comparison. Because he sent me 2 picks, Woodenville picks. So I'm looking forward to throwing those in some blinds and having some fun with that. So yeah, it should be good.
I think we all have taste notes that lived in our brain since childhood, some good, some bad. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And right now, out of these 4 that I have poured, if I was ranking them, the Frey Ranch definitely come in first. For sure, it's going to be the Jack Daniels, and not just because that's how I drank them, but in my opinion. And the Woodenville is going to come in last over the Elijah Craig, only because the proof is a bit higher. So when you add the water to this, yes, the normal marshmallow notes seem to me to get more intense on the Elijah Craig, but the higher proof holds up a bit better with a drop of water. So
Now,
where the Woodenville, it was good, don't get me wrong, and it made that maraschino cherry note really stick out a little more, and that's what I'm like, wow, I like that. It is good in its own right. So I wouldn't hesitate on another store pick on Woodenville. But this particular one on the Frey Ranch is really good, and I'm really excited to have another pour of that, to get it down to the shoulder and then leave that set for a bit and then go back to it and probably do it on someone's stream or do on my stream in a couple of weeks, and just see where we see where it is and how it ended up as far as that goes. And he heard you, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome, Mark. Yeah,
it's really good.
I'm gonna try and break up your samples into 3 different videos, so you're gonna get lots of shout outs. Yeah, so I need to. I'm just about. If it weren't for this thing just being the absolute worst bourbon on the planet, then I would already be ready to shoot one. But I need to get a different toasted or double oak bourbon because that's not going in the competition because it's just awful.
I was scrolling through chat and I saw Hangin' AZ's first, and he said, talking about Viking bourbon firing shots. So as I'm reading through chat, I come down to Viking bourbon. Says I take Long Branch over Buffalo Trace. Okay, I mean, it's your taste. It's what you like. That's fine. Like I said,
for me, it would be close. Yeah.
But if we were sitting in the same room together, I'd look at you like, are you crazy? Really? That stuff over Buffalo Trace Standard, which let me just say, I like Buffalo Trace, the standard, but I've got a store pick back here. It's hard to believe, but that store pick, Buffalo Trace standard, but it's a store pick, is just a bit sweeter and a little seems like just a bit more viscosity to it. So it's just a better mouthfeel and texture and creaminess that I get out of that versus the standard. But as far as the nose goes on that, I can't tell difference from the one you get off the shelf at Kroger's or Total Wine or wherever you get your bottles.
Yeah. But
the store pick just has that little edge over it because it's the same ABV. I've never seen one higher. I'm like, well, why don't you get a pick and, make it 100 or something, make it something. Yeah. Why are you just doing that?
So good night, Greg. And also cheers, Dustin. What's up, buddy? How we doing, man?
Hey, I don't know if anybody saw Dustin with Alan today, but I was kind of lurking and watching, and man, that was a good chat they had on different scotches and everything. And I didn't think he was looking, but he called me out and said hello whenever I just said, "Hey, this is a really good stream." I was enjoying it, and but anyway, yeah, they had a really good stream on there, and I mean, I was watching it for at least 2 hours. I mean, they were going on and on and on. And I think it went longer than that, but I didn't get on in the beginning. So I got in more towards the tail end of it. But it was a good stream. Alan knows his stuff. And then, you get Destin going there and he's knowledgeable on his scotches, and boom, it was just a good stream. And I know James Morgan, he was in there too. I saw him floating around in there. So it was a good time. It was a good time on there. And like I said, I was busy getting ready for this because I changed things. And yeah, he had a good stream today, that's for sure. But anyway, now I'm kind of wondering. I'm going to finish up a couple of these, but then yes, I'm going to pour more Frey Ranch because I want to drink that down to the shoulder. But let's do let's pour a little. I'll do it for Adriana, even though she's not here. I'll pour a little Knob Creek store pick at 120 proof. Give it a drop of water because the proof isn't not going to match Frey Ranch. But let's just see how that goes just because.
Well, I'm going to join you in your last pour there, Anthony, which was the A122.
The A121 or
A121. Wait, was it A121 or B120 or B5?
I have both, but A121 was higher in proof.
Right. Okay. All right. Here it is. I knew I had it around here somewhere.
But even though it's higher proof, the B521 was a much better pour than that. But then the C921 was amazing.
Yep. So B, I think, was my favorite last year, but just by a hair. The C and the B batches were almost neck and neck.
C for me took it. I don't know. The flavor was just there. The A has the higher proof, but
it's kind of lacking.
Yeah, exactly. It was missing something.
Yeah.
But I'll drink all three of them hands down. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem whatsoever. I will drink them without a doubt. Yeah.
So let's I'm going to go wider on this pour because we are doing barrel proofs and I want to keep up here. So
there's nothing there, but I'm gonna finish off the JD
half ounce, something like that.
In just wrapping up the thing that the store pick on the Frey Ranch. If anyone has a chance to try them, go ahead and do it. Particularly the picks. I am not a huge fan of the standard expressions that's on the shelf all the time. They're good, but once you go into some of these picks and you taste what it is out of the barrel, and these are exactly how it comes out of the barrel. This particular one, it's not cut or anything. They dump it. They make X amount of bottles. Matter of fact, my bottle is 12. What did I say it was? 12, 13? Bottle number 12. All right. It's bottle number 12. Not that that makes a difference between that and 199 or however many they got out of there. But, man, they are really, really good, in my opinion. The proof is good. They don't drink like they are, 135 plus on the proof. It's a higher proof, but there's flavor in there. There's good viscosity in there. There's some spice in there. The nose, in my opinion, meets the palate on it. And it can only get better with just a little bit of time in the bottle, and then adding just 2 lousy drops of distilled water to it. And when I say drops, just drops, made a huge difference as far as the nose. The floral note just seemed to pop on that thing like, wow. So my thing is if you like Frey Ranch and you have a chance to get a pick, get it. And particularly if you have a chance to sample it first, just kind of so you know in your mind what you're going to get, absolutely go ahead and do it. I don't think you're going to be disappointed in any way, shape, or form. So that's my take on the Frey Ranch. And here it is. And yes, the label's different. Someone made a comment earlier. The label is different than the normal Frey Ranch. And this one happens to be a pick from here in Vegas from Corey's. And it was really, really good. Really good. So that's that. And I'm going to finish up this Jack Daniels right now. And because, wow, that banana note is still prominent on that thing. I can't believe it. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to get that to go away on any Brown-Forman product, but not a bad thing though. So here's me adding water to the A121. I'm gonna go 1 drop since I'm doing a light pour here.
And I don't know for sure, Andrew. Does anybody actually have a bottle of Frey Ranch bourbon and rye that they could say? Because I don't think it says it on the website. But you know what? Let me think. I think I still have it pulled up here on my iPad. Let me just take a quick look because it might be on there. Here we go. Cancel that out. Go here. Bourbon and whiskey.
And you know, Mark, I would say the whiskey tube is split on last year. It's basically B521 or C921. And you know, either way, I think you're right.
Because so the straight bourbon of the Frey Ranch, their normal expression is 90 proof. Hold on, let me get the other one. The rye, here it comes, is 100. So Andrew is correct. And it's bottle and bond on the rye. Non-chill filtered. So let's see. Frey Ranch bottle and bond straight rye whiskey made with sustainably grown winter rye raised on the Frey Ranch. This 100% rye whiskey is smooth enough to sip, yet spicy enough to shine in any cocktail. That is what they have to say. But I did not know that it was 100% rye, and I did not know it was bottled and bond.
I got to say, Anthony, like the water worked for the JD, but I think it makes the Elijah Craig less interesting.
I can accept that. I know there was a change, but I think it's the age that keeps it refined. That's why it's good just the way it is.
Like the nose is less interesting now. The palate is less interesting. It tastes, and I did 1 drop because this is a small pour. But still, it tastes watered down now. I don't know. So, but it did work really well for the JD though. I mean that made that way more interesting. So it works for some. You'll just have to play around, folks.
I'm very happy with how the Jack Daniels turned out. I mean, if you like the banana, and if you like if I turn back because I'm like I move stuff, so normally I could grab it, but if you have Old Forester, oh there it is. I'm like I know it was up here, you know, and you like that note of banana.
You know, that's what I need.
This is the base Old Forester. This is just 100. All right.
Because I think Paul is still here, Viking Bourbon. So
he was.
So here's another barrel proof, and I'm not a fan of this right now. So maybe we can improve this with a little water. We're gonna see. Because right now this thing drinks hot as hell. So
and that's why I found that when I tried it months back.
Maybe we can make this thing better on our own with a little bit of water. Did you say Old Forester? I sure did. I knew that would make Paul perk up there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to do one drop into the. Well, actually, you know what? This probably needs two because this is 130. What is this? 130 point. Yeah, 130.7. So we're going to go two
All I
drops.
got was hot out of that bottle.
Yeah, that's basically what I got. A ton of heat and not much else. There's there's a little bit of that banana note that you expect from an Old Forester. And there's like a slight cherry and just a very light kind of oakiness, but man, just mainly ethanol heat. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm going to spin this for a while and see what happens here. Old Forester base is the 86 proof. Very true. Yes. And not a bad bottle. Like, I think that's one of my favorite bottles to introduce people to bourbon because I don't know how you could not like it. It's very easy.
And Sugar Kitty's correct. When I meant base, this is their normal expression, except that one was 100 proof. There's no difference between what's in the bottle at 100 proof and what's in the bottle at 86 proof. It's just a higher proof. The 86 proof is good, but give me 100 proof in that any day. And so that's why. So it was just a bad choice of words.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this last night. I mean, Old Forester 100 was my daily for a long time when I was getting into whiskey. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that bottle. It's a great bottle.
No, don't be surprised, Viking Bourbon. Don't be surprised because I've had one too. And I set it back down because I actually had a bottle held for me when it came out at a shop I go to. They held it for me specifically. And I went in and they actually had an open bottle. I said, pour me some of that delicious juice. And they poured it for me. And all I got was nothing but hot, period. Nothing but hot. And I'm like, what is this? This was not the sample I tried when you guys were testing it. So they got a bunch of sample bottles for their pick. And they, if I remember correctly, they even sent them the water they were going to cut it with. So then with instructions on how much to put in, so you would know what the proof would be very close when they did their picks at this place. And so whatever it was like, wow.
So I have really disturbed Paul apparently. And by the way, buddy, the review is already filmed, so it's coming here shortly. But nonetheless, I guess I maybe should have done this water thing first. Anyway, so Paul, so it's Warehouse 1, Floor 3. So
cheers, Andrew. Warehouse 1 and what? Floor 3.
3. Yeah.
Well, I guess it would go back to what you like, but
so what's interesting though is that I would say me and Anthony both like barrel proofs. I think that's safe to say. And I am an Old Forester fanboy. I mean, that's actually just Brown Foreman across the board. I mean, that's generally some of my favorite stuff. So I was kind of surprised that I didn't like it. I was kind of rooting for it. I wanted it to be good. So yeah, I was kind of let down that it wasn't amazing because I really wanted it to be. So,
well, you like what you like, people, and I'm not faulting you for that. So if that's what you like, that's what you like. That's what you drink. There's no right way and there's no wrong way. Again, I'll go back to what I said before. I may laugh at you privately to myself, but if we were all in the same room, I may look at you and go, why are you adding ice to that? Are you crazy? But anyway, you like what you like. And, just like Viking Bourbon, he can't believe he got a bad Old Forester. Well, it happens. I turned my bottle down because it just was not what I was expecting. And so let me just say this, and if anyone has had a similar experience or can agree, sometimes you hear things and your expectation is way up. And when you get it, because you're expecting an extravaganza, let's say, an experience. And you're like, this is it after that sip. This is it. This is not what I was expecting. This is not the flavor I was expecting out of it. I was not expecting this blast of heat that I got from it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just to go along with your point, Anthony, I was really hoping for Old Forester 100 proof just turned up to 11. That's what I wanted in an Old Forester barrel proof. And it's not really that at all. It's very different. Because there's so many rich, dark notes in Old Forester 100, and so I really wanted that. Kind of like the Old Forester version of an Elijah Craig barrel proof. I want those rich, dark notes, just the Brown-Forman profile. And it doesn't come through because there's so much heat covering it up that you just don't get to experience that. So it's kind of unfortunate because, I freaking love Old Forester. So
I didn't get that yet. I accidentally passed it up because I saw A122 and I said, oh, I got that. No, I have A121, but in my head, I had a moment. Hold on, I'll highlight you. Put that back up.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do that next. I've given out quite a bit of samples, but yeah.
Which one is that?
The A122.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't get that yet. I accidentally made a faux pas and passed on it because I said, oh, no, I've got A122. No, I got A121. But yeah, it's what happens when you get older. Trust me.
It's good to hear. So 2 lives ago, I put this, the new Larceny barrel proof, the A122, and that Old Forester, and then the Blind Speaks, which is the Master Journey pick. I put I did all those in a blind, and the Elijah Craig 1 just barely over the Master Journey's the Blind Speaks pick. So those were very close. Both were excellent. The other 2, I'm kind of whatever on.
And now I'm back to the Frey Ranch. I let it set after I added the water. You remember I poured a little more in, and I said, wow, the floral note on this had just went boom. Well, I still got the floral note, but it's kind of died down. And what's really interesting, and I really only get this on single malt Scotch, is, and maybe it's the grain, the way it is, but I'm picking up that sweet bread note. It's not bam like a single malt Scotch, but it's right there that I know what it is, but it's not overpowering or overbearing. The floral note still shines through. The other sweetness of the grains definitely shine through, but I'm getting that subtle hint of the bread sweetness, like a banana bread in there, but no banana, but that sweet smell. And I'm like, I was like, wow. And like I said, this is just that little bit left that I've just had sitting, in the glass while I went through the other ones. Man, that's really, really, really good.
So, Paul, I will say that the Old Forester was better with a couple drops of water. It got more interesting, but it's still just incredibly hot. I mean, surprisingly hot. And I drink barrel proofs almost every day. It's usually 1 pour a day. I have a barrel proof.
It's addicting. I mean, they're so good because not to go off on a tangent. Everybody knows I'm a proofy bitch. I've got a shirt that says so. And thanks to Whiskey Encore is why I have that shirt. But I just think 100 and North flavors just blossom.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That's just
Absolutely.
me. There are other people, their sweet spot might be 95, 98, 90. I just don't get it at 90.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm with you.
95, I start 97, 98, 99. But once I hit that 100, for some reason, that's it. That's just like on a Scotch. 46 and North seem to be, that's it.
Yeah.
Under 46, it's okay.
that's why this bottle was so surprising, this Balcones, because it's only 92, and so I was not expecting a whole lot. But man, the flavors are bold for a 92 proof.
That's all that counts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something about that short aging cycle that they have down there, and the heat and the expansion and contraction that accelerates it, and sometimes it's a great batch. I'm gonna
continue on your rant, Anthony. Go for it. I want to hear it.
No, I'm all good. I'm going to say, take over for a minute. I'm going to grab something off the shelf.
Okay.
I'm just going to turn around and put my back to it. I'm going to just turn the camera off.
Yeah. So just to go along with Anthony, I mean, I have barrel proofs to my left and my right. So we got full proof 1792, and then the Elijah Craig batches here, and then a Weller, that's antique, so that's not barrel proof but high, and then all the larcenies, and then the Blind Speaks, and then the FA-02. Yeah. So those are the ones I keep closest to me because they mean a lot to me. So I love barrel proof. So it's not like I don't. It's just that I'm sorry, Paul. I really wanted to love the Old Forester, at least. And now I know Paul apparently got some good ones. And I've heard from other people they got some good ones and some bad ones. For instance, Mike Stahl, the other part of Livewire Whiskey, who is going on after Anthony here. They had one good bottle, one bad bottle. So it seems like they can vary. I think maybe Paul has just been lucky and got a lot of good bottles, which is great for him. I wish I had that same luck because I really wanted to have a great bottle of Old Forester Barrel Proof. I just unfortunately didn't get that, which kind of sucks. But hey, Top Dog, what's up, buddy? How we doing, man? Good to see you. I like being lucky. Yeah, you are, man. I wish I had the same luck. Like, okay, so if I'm honest, here's what I think. So my pick is a Kroger pick, and I have a feeling that the person doing the Kroger pick doesn't know a lot about bourbon. I don't know that to be true. I've never met the man. It says the Chris pick, which that's what, if you've been to Kroger, then there's certain whiskeys that are Chris's picks. I don't know who Chris is. Never met the man. Never seen him talk. I don't know anything about him. But I have a feeling he doesn't know a whole lot about bourbon or what the bourbon community wants. And so I think it's just a bad pick. I think they went in. Old Forester was like, here's some barrels. They just picked one, and that's what got bottled in that. And if I'm honest, I feel like it was probably bottles that Old Forester was just trying to get rid of. And Kroger just doesn't have the sense to know what's good and what's bad. And so we got that. I wish I had gotten a pick from a store that is actually picking good bourbon, but I didn't. So, oh well, it is what it is. I would go for some budget Bourbon Boys BPs, but not spending over $60. Fair enough, AZ. I don't know how possible the under 60 is going to be for barrel picks because they tend to be pricey. But in the future, whenever I get rich and I start buying up barrels, we'll see what we can do. Hopefully someday that's a reality. Cheers, Ed. I'm hoping you're not sulking. I feel like I missed something here. Also, let's see here. There was something earlier. Let's scroll back up here. Oh yeah, right. That's what it was. First off, Whiskey No says we're all crazy. I agree. We probably are all crazy. But here we're gonna. Thank you, Doug H. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, we had a good time last night. Anthony was there. Stacy was there. We had a lot of good guests, actually. My memory is laughing. So we had Stacy, Anthony. Anthony, who else was there?
Brian was there.
Yep. There. Okay. And then we had Rob. Rob was there.
I was just going to say Rob was in.
Man, it wasn't even 24 hours ago. And oh well.
Well, it happens at our age.
You guys can watch it on the replay. That's probably better than relying on my memory. So now we're gonna.
Isn't that the truth?
Now we're gonna try the A122 with a little bit of water. Am I out of water? No, I got a little bit.
Yeah,
I will have to get some more water here soon, but
oh, I've got plenty of that, but
slap you.
I couldn't find my other glasses, and I'm like, I got to turn this camera off and turn around here and look, and well, I forgot. I put them somewhere else, back in the box, because I took them with me when I went to camp, and I'm like, I remember now.
So
but I knew they were here.
Apparently, last night we had Slappy the Clown on, according to AZ, and also I don't know what Sugar Kitty's referencing, but Ken and Simon, the Aussies. Yeah, maybe they were on the stream. Who knows?
Hey,
That's
if Sugar
right.
Kitty says so, then that's it.
It was probably true. Probably true. Also, Miss Whiskey Wars did make an appearance. That is true.
Yeah, it's true. I was just going to say, yeah, the missus was on there too.
Yeah, so we're trying to work out right now. So I'm excuse me. So man, I can't. Let me take a sip of whiskey here.
Take a sip. Well, I told you about that high proof stuff. It sometimes will come back at you.
No, actually, the air is what's messing me up. Whiskey's
fine. Yeah, try not to breathe.
Air is no good. Air
try not to breathe.
When I drink, I'm fine. It's just this air thing that's really messing me up.
Yeah, don't breathe.
So anyway, so we're gonna try and make Miss Whiskey Wars a more common thing on the channel. It's just that currently, as you can see, there's really only room for one chair, because when I first started this thing, she was not a whiskey drinker at all, and I'm slowly converting her. So she's tried maybe a dozen, probably not quite a dozen different bourbons. And so I need to kind of move over to this wall here and get 2 chairs set up. So I need 2 matching chairs just so it looks good aesthetically. And once we get that set up, then we're going to start having her on the channel more often, because I'm so proud of my wife for joining us in the whiskey shenanigans. So yeah, and she's actually enjoying a lot of them. So it'll be fun to chat with her and have her share her experience and how I have talked her into this whole whiskey thing. So what's up, Stanley, the mash bill? How we doing, man? Good to see you.
What store pick? Corey's here in Vegas, Mashville. All right, I poured the Knob Creek for Whiskey Mountains, so she can't say that we didn't think about her.
There we go.
120 proof. I didn't add anything to it. I know it's delicious, but I'm going to take a sip regular, but I'm probably going to pour a little more of that Frey Ranch and drink it neat. But right now, we've had the Frey Ranch, we had the Jack Daniels, we've had the Woodinville, we've had Elijah Craig A121, and now Knob Creek. Excuse me, let me get Hobby Nobby, but it's Knob Creek. Store pick at 120 proof, and we'll see how that holds up also with the Frey Ranch.
So I got to say, Anthony, I think it's across the board. So this is the 22 batch of the A. And again, I think water makes it less interesting. So I think the advice is don't add anything to Elijah Craig barrel proofs, because they've already figured it out. But other stuff like the JD barrel proof, that was much better with water. The Old Forester was much better with water. So I guess kind of pick.
But it just didn't make you go, damn, I'm gonna have to keep adding water to that to drink it. The Old Forester.
No, so it was still hot, but it was still better than it normally is. I mean, because so on its own, it's just like straight ethanol with this hints of flavor. Whereas with a little bit of water, so I put 2 drops in, just if we're being scientific.
Yeah, of course.
That opened it up, and then I got a little bit more depth there. So maybe I should have went 3 drops. Maybe 3 drops would have helped it even more. But I think Elijah Craig, they know what they're doing. They've been doing this long enough that they know right where they need. I assume that the master distiller at Elijah Craig has been doing this long enough that he knows, okay, this is the proof point that we need.
Oh, they all do. I mean, I'm not knocking them. That's what they do. But sometimes we have said, and I'm going to use Elijah Craig, the private barrel. If you've gotten any of those, most of them come in at 8-year or 10-year at 94 proof. And I've got an 11-year at 94 proof. But it's like, why don't you just make that north of 94 and even it out at 100? Give us something like, holy smokes, this really is special.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, the price is good. They're less than $40 a bottle. But between $69 and $79, get an A122.
Yeah. So, I ran across one of those myself, Anthony.
So it's like, why?
So I don't know if the one you found came in the pirate bottle, but the pick that I saw did. Just the standard 94 proof Elijah, but it's in the pirate bottle because it's a pick. And so I almost bought it because it is a special bottle, but at the same time, like the Elijah Craig, the standard offering doesn't wow me. So, I like it. It's fine. It's not bad by any means. It's not like my favorite bourbon in that price range. And then with the markup from the pick price, it was like 50. And I was like, do I really want to spend $50 on a 94 proof Elijah Craig?
Exactly.
So I passed on it, but ARG pick. Yeah, exactly. It was the pirate pick. And like the pirate bottle almost swayed me. Like I almost went ahead and did it. I almost was just, okay, let's go ahead. But it's still 94 proof. So like you said, like Anthony said, if they bumped it up to like 100, then I'd be like, okay, cool. All right, I'm getting something kind of special, something kind of different than the regular shelf offering. But the standard 94, it's kind of whatever.
Exactly. So if you could get that private barrel in 100 at an 8-year, a 10-year, or 11-year like I have, now to me, you got something special, and particularly at that price.
Yeah.
Come on. What are you doing there, Elijah Craig? I mean, just like you said, they know where they need to be with their distillate.
Yeah.
And maybe north of that, the way they mix those private barrels, they can't, I don't want to say this right, but they can't get the profile they want because of how it is. So when they do the, like the A121, that's a whole different makeup. Let's just use that term.
Yeah.
So that's why they have a higher proof, because it's different than the private barrel. But when you get a private barrel, you're picking the barrel. That's what you want. Why would you proof it down to the 94? Why wouldn't you get it at 100 or 120, 125? You know what I mean? Like they do with the other batches.
So they certainly couldn't go that high, because then they're getting into the ECVP private select.
But that's what I'm just saying. Why don't you just make it north and say, okay, 100, 105? Yeah. If you get a private barrel, they're between 100 and 105, and oh my gosh, that wouldn't be anywhere near the realm.
Exactly. And then at least then it's special then, because it's not your standard proof point. But when you're sending them out at the same proof point as what you're normally getting on the shelf, it doesn't really feel special. So there's not a lot of motivation to buy it. I mean, it could be exceptional for 94 proof. Let's be fair to Elijah Craig, because they are putting out some fantastic products. So, it could be an exceptional bottle at 94 proof. But like you said, if we get a little bump in proof, that would be really nice to see. So maybe Elijah Craig.
Maybe they're listening to us.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope that that's happening.
Yeah, maybe they're listening to us. And they'll come on a stream, either mine or yours, one day, and then explain to us why they don't, or why they don't offer it. Is what I want to say.
And I just want to comment on what Marty said here. Stacy H did rock my stream last night. She was awesome, as was my partner in crime here, Anthony. He was fantastic as well. But it was great to have Stacy on. That was the first time she's ever been on my stream, and it was quite a treat. So thank you, Stacy. I hope you are a regular, as is Anthony. I mean, I love having Anthony as well. So no favoritism here. I love both of them equally. But it was just such a treat to have Stacy for the first time. So,
oh yeah, absolutely. It's just always great. It's always great to have, and how I want to say this, I love it when women come on because bourbon isn't just for guys.
Absolutely,
that's what I want to say. And let me just say, she's a neophyte when it comes to bourbon, but when it comes to Irish whiskeys. She's the master.
She's in a class of her own. Yeah.
She's in a class of her own. But this is for everybody of legal drinking age.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man or woman makes no difference. These spirits are meant to be enjoyed, appreciated for the craft that went into them, shared, to have the experience that makes memories. All right. I would love to have more women get involved in, particularly even my stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have them come on and without fear. I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere. I'm a neophyte when it comes to Irish. So when she says, get this, get that, or run from this, well, what do you think I'm going to do? What she says.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, so that's why, I go to Stacy for what bottles of Irish should I buy next? Because I don't know much of anything, but she knows a ton. So obviously take her advice.
You hear it in her voice. When she talks about Irish whiskey, as we talk about bourbon, all right, and I'm getting back into scotches after 30 years, but she's passionate about that. You know what I'm saying? She's passionate. She's like, you know what? She knows her stuff, and she knows who the distillers are. She talks about it. I sat back and just listened to her talk about this stuff and rattle off different things, just like we rattle off different things about bourbon. She's spot on when it comes to the Irish. So, I would love to have her on and more women get involved in this. And one great channel, and I'm going to promote them, is Women of Whiskey. It's a place where they can go amongst themselves and not feel intimidated. But I think I would be the first one to boot somebody. You would be the first one to boot somebody. Hanging AZ would. That if someone here tried to intimidate anybody, or put them down in any way,
regardless of sex, really. But just don't do that.
Be gone. Yeah, that's not what this is for. That's not what this is about.
Yeah, we're here to have a good time, people. So don't come in here trying to be a bully. We're not going to tolerate it.
None of us will. And that's why I've got the moderators. If you guys catch something that I didn't, boot them. I don't care. If I didn't see it, apparently I don't know them and won't miss them.
So there's this thing that exists on Whiskey Tube that I've been kind of debating whether to go with or not. So a lot of streams go subscriber only. On the one hand, I like that idea because it eliminates certain things.
But it eliminates the spam. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but at the same time, it excludes people that might be new, that might be coming for the first time, and maybe they haven't subscribed yet, but they want to chat. And so I hate to exclude them, and so I don't go subscriber only. But I get the point because, man, sometimes we've all had the bots that come in, and you get just crazy messages, and you're like, "Come on, why are you doing that?" And it's always just completely sick, gross stuff that they throw out
Exactly.
there. But at the same time, you can usually handle it in about 5 seconds, and then it's done.
Well,
Um,
when you have moderators, and I always point to Sugar Kitty, or if Livewire's on, and I'm going to use them as an example, Top Dog, that Whiskey knows, some of my mods that are in here, I don't have to worry about that in chat.
yeah,
I can keep, I keep an eye on it, but I can work with you and the rest in the stream, and they're on it. They have full authority. Yeah,
yeah.
well, yeah, they know. They all know how we all are, and so that's what makes this work, and that's what makes this channel work. It's us all working together for the purpose of just talking about good whiskey in general, be it bourbon, be it American whiskey, be it Scotch, be it Irish whiskey. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
And there you go. It's peace of mind. I was just going to say peace of mind, and you beat me to it, Paul. Boom. It is. It's peace of mind.
But Anthony, back to AZ's question before we move along too far.
No, go ahead.
What is the hottest bourbon you ever?
And that's what I was going to get at.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've heard me talk about it, but I don't want to say it was the hottest, but it was the one that pushed me back on my heels, figuratively. Stellum, when it originally came out, their straight bourbon in the rye,
Okay.
reminded me. Okay, well, I'm going to say this. I tasted that, and I was like, that's all I got was hot. So when I tasted the Old Forester, it was the same thing you got. I got nothing but hot. So when I tried the original Stellum, I was ready to buy it, but the store had it open. I said, oh yeah, let me try both of them because I'm here to buy them. Especially at 114 or 116 proof is what they originally came out at. I tried the rye first because I'm a rye guy, and I'm like, wait a minute. It just burned. Plain fire burned my palate right out. First damn sip. Boom. Yeah. And I'm like, and I looked, my wife was there. And at first, it's like you take that first sip and you go, was it really that bad?
Yeah.
And then so you take the second sip, and now the shock is over. So you're prepared, but yet the heat and everything is still there. And I really didn't get anything out of it. So then I was like, okay, let me try the straight bourbon. So I tried the straight bourbon, but my palate was so far gone that when I got the straight bourbon, it was the same thing. So Stellum was the first one. The second one was the exact one you got right there, the Old Forester. And it was just nothing but hot. The third one was a Knob Creek store pick that I was out and about for the day and hunting bourbon, but made a point to circle back to stop at a store I go to on my side of town so I could pick up that bottle. And the story is this, is when I walked through the door, I said to the manager, I said, do you believe in the hereafter? And he looked at me and he said, what? I said, do you believe in the hereafter? And he just looked at me and he goes, well, yeah. I said, well, I'm here and you know what I'm after. Now put my bottle on the counter. And he looked at me for a second and busted out laughing. He said, that's not what I thought you were talking about. And I go, why, what else should I talk about? I'm in a liquor store. So anyway, he puts it out there and he says, you want to try it? I said, heck yeah. Free taste? Of course. So he poured it. I'm holding the bottle. This is the second time I pushed a bottle back. I took a drink off of that thing and I did a double take. I looked at that bottle. I looked at him and he goes, isn't it sweet? And I took a second. I exhaled and I'm like, let me take another sip before I give you my judgment.
Yeah.
I took a sip and he said, well, what do you think? Isn't it really sweet? And he went on and I stopped him and I said, no, it's nothing but fire. And he looked at me and goes, "What?" I go, "There's nothing good about it." And I slid my bottle back towards him. And I go, "No." But I did say to him, however, I just had breakfast and maybe it's something I ate, but I'm holding off. I'll see you tomorrow or the next day, but I can't remember what I said, but it was something along that lines. And I came back. The next bottle I had that I thought was hot, and Top Dog just said it, and I caught it out of the corner of my eye. Coy Hill. The Coy Hill.
Well,
I got
but I mean that
a hand-delivered sample, but I know what it is. You're right.
yeah,
But
that's legitimately hot. I mean,
but this was the same proof. Same proof.
Yeah.
And guess what? My first sip of this was love. My first sip of Coy Hill was hate. But
I mean, I think
I went back to it after it opened up, and I told Whiskey Mountains, much better experience the third time around. Once it opened up, it was much better. So
I think all of the JD barrel proofs kind of need that because they're all of them. I mean, even this guy, like even just the standard is kind of hot on the neck pour, but then I think it opens up and gets pretty great.
Sorry, Lou.
For sure, man.
Hey,
but so right now, if I'm answering the same question, AZ, it's this. It's this by a mile. This is by far the hottest bottle I've ever drank in my life. I don't. It's unbelievably hot. I mean, I've had light whiskeys that drank lighter than that, so I don't get what's happening. I mean, I've had 165 proofers, and they didn't drink as hot as that. So it's a weird thing. Also, AZ, Stacy certainly did class up the joint last night. I'm glad you guys enjoyed her being there because I did as well. So hopefully we can make that a regular thing. That's up to Stacy. So I'm not going to pressure her too much, but I did enjoy her company last night. It was fun.
Yeah. But so those were mine as far as the ones that made me go, holy smokes. There just was no flavor in the first sips. Nothing. Yeah. I've never went back to the Stellum. The Stellum Black is a totally different experience because if I remember correctly, and if anybody's in chat that knows, I think that one was MGP.
Yeah.
And Stellum is an offshoot of Barrel.
Right. It's made by the same people. Yeah.
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 But anyhow, I did not find it. And I've never went back to the original Stellum, but the black was totally a much better experience, but I cannot remember the proof on that as far as that goes, as far as what it was like. I don't. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say it was about the same proof, maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher, but I don't know. I just don't know. But those were the ones that really, really, really made me go, wow. And I did not buy them.
Yeah.
Now, I went back to that Knob Creek Rye store pick and tried it later, and absolutely an improvement. So I'm going to say it was what I had for breakfast, Commandant Lou. Doesn't make you a bad person now. That's all I'm going to say. It was what I had for breakfast that made it off-putting. Onions, I don't know. It was in an omelet or something that I had that day. But that was okay. That was the only one I went back and got. I've never owned a full bottle of Coy Hill because I could never find it at an affordable price. Here, they were north of $200 a bottle. Just like the Jack Daniel's 10-year-old, they're $300 a bottle here. And that's ridiculous. I'm not going to pay that for that. Absolutely not. Here we go. See, Stellum Black, 150 ounces. I think it was the same, 114, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. So it was 115. So at 115 at that, and that Sugar Kitty, find out. Well, you don't have to find out, but wasn't that all MGP on that? I'm trying to recall from my memory and from what I was told, but I think that one was MGP on that. That was all Indiana. But,
also, I have to shout out Evil Williams instead of Evan
yeah.
Williams. That's a great handle. Love it, man.
Oh yeah, Evil, dude. Shipping a bourbon baller. Oh, I wish I could even get one of those from him if he would just let me know. You know, I would love to purchase one, especially the hazmat pick from him. I hear that he picks some just absolute amazing ones. Amazing.
And Stacy, I'm glad to hear that, and I hope you come on many more times. It was a pleasure to have you. So thank you.
So that's true. That is true, and that's how I tell people.
But Anthony, I will be right back.
Take a second. Viking bourbon. I've got the 6. Haven't touched it yet. In other words, haven't even cracked the seal. It's on there. It's in the back. But if you go back, I revisited my Disco 5 that I absolutely loathe. But as you know, I love Bardstown Discovery series. And the 5 I was waiting for with like bated breath, anticipation galore. And when I got it, brought it home and opened it, it was sheer hate. Did the review, trashed it. Did what you did. About 6 months. I mean, I shoved it into the back of my pile. Bardstown's up one more shelf, but I shoved it into the back and just put it out of my mind. Went back to it about 6 months later. Absolutely a different bottle. And I can actually drink it. And it's been a little bit. When I say a little bit, it's been a good month or more. But I came home one night and poured a glass and sat with it and was like, wow, okay. This was good. So I can now drink the Disco 5. But with that 17-year-old Dickel juice in it that they had, the minerality was so terrible because of it that I couldn't choke it down. It was so disappointing at the price you pay for it. But anyway, Stellum I've seen RMGP. Okay. Well, I think black is. I think the other one was some of their younger distillate from barrel. And I don't know if Stellum gets their actual barrels from Barrel, their parent company. But yeah, it just wasn't good for me. But I thought it was MGP. So you probably are right that the majority of it is MGP. So thank you. Let's see. You can only get JD Coy Hill in UK on auction. Holy smokes, are you kidding me? Holy smokes, what do they think? They got gold? Oh my gosh, that's redonkulous. Redonkulous is 3 steps above ridiculous, just so everybody knows. It's redonkulous. Oh my gosh. But again, that JD 10 year is going for almost 300 here in the States. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's definitely none of those are worth that damn price. It's just not worth it. Period. Let's see. Got Stellum, right? Cask strength rye, a total wine. Oh, so it's a mixture. So you got Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee distillate. Okay. Well, it could be. I know that there's Indiana in it. I knew that. Sugar Kitty definitely confirmed it. But did not know that about the rye. But anyway, the first expressions that come out, they're what I call their base expressions, the straight and the rye. Yeah, keep it. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Now, if you had it at your house, Evil, and you come down and say, Anthony, you got to try it again, I definitely would try it again in the base expressions just to see if it was just me. Who knows? But yeah, I'm not willingly going to go and spend $50 on a bottle of Stellum and put it on my shelf. Just not going to happen. I just can't with the JD. Too many bad nights. And yes, I know it is better than the old number. Oh, absolutely. Anything's better than the old number 7. But you know what? I had that with tequila back in the day. But Saturday, not to go off on a tangent, but I tried some tequila, Añejo tequila, for the first time in like 30 years. And everyone I've talked to that is a bourbon aficionado that says, no, Anthony, these tequilas today, you get the better ones, you get this and that. They're true sippers. You don't need salt. You don't need lime. Those days are over. You were drinking Rotgut. Well, I was in college. That's what you could afford. And that's what I just thought tequila was. Well, I broke down and I had a little taste. And I looked at the lady and I'm like, this is tequila? This? She goes, yeah. Was there something wrong? I go, no, it's not at all what I was expecting. So that Añejo tequila was really good. I would actually need to sit with somebody with a few pours of different ones to learn the nuances and get the taste, just like anyone would be with bourbon, would be with Scotch or Irish, to understand. And I don't want it ice cold. I want it neat, because everybody knows the colder you make it, the more that it covers up some of its imperfections. And if you drink Coors Light, I don't care. But people that drink Coors Light because, oh yeah, look at the can, it turns ice blue when it's super cold. The colder you make that beer, the better it tastes. If you drank Coors Light at a normal temperature, you probably wouldn't touch it. The only one that's worth its salt is the banquet beer. But that's it. I'm not going to go on it. But anyway, the colder you make something, yeah, it's just not there. Eve Williams says, Bourbon Baller, he's got a guy. I believe him. I absolutely believe him. High-end sipping tequila is not. It is not. You're right. It is not. But like I said, I haven't touched it in forever. And yesterday, all right, I'm going to do it. Worst things I'm going to do is spit this sucker out. However, that being said, I did not find it as flavorful as others have talked about. But again, I'm not experienced, and my palate just isn't set for something like that to understand what I am tasting. So I would need a guide. But anyway, yeah. Tequila is enjoyable. Well, what I had is, but yeah, I wouldn't want it cold. I just don't. I would not want it cold. Just so I can really taste what it's like. That's what I say about bourbon. I don't want ice. I don't want water in the beginning. And so before I even thought about adding water to this, when I was going to do this stream, I thought, you know what? With these higher proof bourbons, the water might really complement it. So anyway, that's how I started adding the water to this stuff tonight to get to where I'm at. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. So right now I'm drinking the Hobby Nobby, the Knob Creek store pick at 120, and I'd have no problem in going from 137 to 130 to 120 and then further down. But I like the flavor and I like the viscosity of this as compared to the other ones that I have been sipping on tonight. Yeah, this is good. And I haven't added any water or anything to it. And there's not enough in here too. And so the heck with it. I won't. Exactly, comment. Jose Cuervo. Exactly. And that's what I said to her. That's almost the exact terms I said to her. I go, this isn't Jose Cuervo. This just isn't. And boom, there you go. I mean, it was like, wow. So true sipping tequila is not Jose Cuervo. Now, I know people that sit there and sip it, Jose Cuervo. It's like, okay. That's why I was for years going, oh, yeah, you're a special kind of person that can do that. I cannot. Not without figuring out how to get that taste out of my mouth. Yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. That's for sure. So anyway.
Yeah, sorry, Anthony, and sorry, folks, I had to take care of a few things there, but we're back. So
that's all right. It's all good. I mean, you know, I'm able to hold the fort. Don't you worry one bit.
For sure.
Don't you worry one bit. Let me just say this. Egan's contradiction, writer's tears on Friday, was thinking about picking up the other Irish. That contradiction, Stan, go back. I did a review on that. Go ahead and watch it. Boost up my watch time hours too.
There you go.
It was good. It was good. As a matter of fact, Stanley, let me just show you that I wouldn't bust your chops about it. It was good. Here it is. Here it is, brother. 10-year. It is good. 46 ABV. You cannot go wrong with that thing. It is good. It's a great sipping whiskey. Period. And you can keep all of that stuff you want. I am not ready to go back down that road. And that's what we used to drink the pop off. I'm not ready to go back down that road.
You know, so it seems like there's a lot of folks that used to be vodka drinkers that are now in the whiskey community. I've talked to several. So, Anthony, did you used to be a vodka drinker?
Yes. But my drink, gin and tonic.
Me as well.
Always Tanqueray and tonic until I discovered Bombay Sapphire.
Okay.
Then it was Bombay on the rocks with 3 olives. Take the bottle of vermouth, hold it up and shake it real quick and then hide it.
Gotcha.
Other than that, that's it. Just show it to the glass.
So
I would drink that. Oh my gosh, it was just heavenly. But I haven't probably had any since 05 or 07.
So I get a little bougie, I guess, when I go vodka, because it was either Grey Goose or Ciroc and tonic with lime. That was basically the only way I drank vodka. And that gets expensive pretty quick because, you know, they go down like water and you go through quite a bit in a night and it adds up. So, yeah.
For me to go through a half dozen G&Ts and I wouldn't bat an eye. Wouldn't bat an eye. Like you said, they just go down like water. Then when I switched to just gin on the rocks with 3 olives, people look at me, how do you drink turpentine? And I would go, simple. And I would just drink it. And I go, it's like mother's milk, I'd say.
I mean, to be fair, I think Ciroc on the rocks is actually a really good vodka. So props to Diddy, the other Sean. Yeah. Also, yeah. Actually, there actually was a lot of gin and juice in my previous diet, alcohol-wise. Yeah, I mean, so gin and cranberry, that was a pretty common thing. Now I like real cranberry juice, like the super tart stuff with gin.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the imitation. No, I got you.
Yeah.
Because it added something to the juice.
Yeah.
When you mix that together, especially the vodka. But I like vodka as long as it was in a Bloody Mary.
See, I can't do Bloody Marys because I don't like tomato. I don't like tomato sauce. I like tomato sauce. Not in a alcoholic drink though. and I don't like tomato soup. I don't like tomato juices. Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. But but real cranberry juice, like a splash of that, and say 2 fingers of gin, and we're good to go.
So, Viking bourbon, you're singing my song there. I mean, back in the day, that was the thing. But like I said, the Bombay Sapphire on the rocks with 3 olives.
So I gotta say, if whiskey did not exist, all forms of whiskey didn't exist, I think this is where I would go. I showed this off on the stream. Was it my stream? I forget. I don't know if it was my stream or somebody else's stream. It's impossible to get out of this freaking bag. That's the only downside. I tell you, it'll be worth the wait, folks. Just give me like 5 minutes to get out of this stupid bag. So this is barrel-aged rum. And this is
Hold on. Is that the one you did pull that out?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it was on Livewire because Eric was on there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got to say, it's not quite bourbon, but it's getting there. It's pretty freaking close. It's sweeter than bourbon, which is the part that I don't care for, but it's still pretty great. So if all forms of whiskey didn't exist, I think this is where I would go.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I don't say I haven't drank rum. I have, and I've had some bougie rums. Let's just use that term.
Yeah.
And one particularly from the Dominican. And when you get the bottle and you watch them pour it, there are leaves and twigs in the bottle and branches of things. I'm not joking with you.
I gotcha.
But,
yeah.
I mean, like you took a branch off a tree, broke it up, and shoved it in the bottle right now.
I know. I've been down the islands a few times, so I've seen a few things. Yeah.
That stuff was actually really good.
Yeah.
And it will stretch you right out.
Yes, it will. In fact, since we're talking, I'm going to have a pour of this here.
Go ahead. It's time for me to get a little more of this Frey Ranch. Since I finished everything else, I'm going to go ahead and put a little more into this cup here since I bought this bottle, and I'm going to enjoy the shit out of it.
Now, this is kind of the entry version of this. So this is an Argentinian rum, just for those that want to know. And this is 40 proof, or 40%, I'm sorry. But man, it drinks like it's well above 40. I mean, not like it's hot, but like there's a lot of depth of flavor. So
there's a lot of depth of flavor in this at 130 plus proof, let me tell you.
I'm telling you, if you just smelled this on the nose,
you
could almost swear it was just a sweet bourbon.
Well, this is a sweet bourbon, let me tell you.
You know, I wish we had that out our way, Anthony. I wish we could find the Frey Ranch. I got a sample of the standard from Charles, Fun with Whiskey, but I've never had the cask. So,
well, I poured myself a proper pour here.
There you go. Yeah, now we're talking.
Now, yep, and I'm going to leave it set a minute, and I'm going to do the magic number.
Man, that is nice on the nose.
With 2 drops. That was the number, 2 drops. And then I'm going to let that thing get dizzy. And I'm going to leave it set for a minute. But, oh my God, that floral note is still amazing on that.
So, you know,
I'd almost run back and get another one of those. Almost.
You know, you keep mentioning that Anthony, and that's kind of turning me off because, okay, so is it like 4 Roses floral?
No.
Okay.
No. When I say no, absolutely not. Scotch floral. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
The Scotch drinkers will know. Yeah. Exactly. It's not the 4 Roses. I've got 4 rows of small batch around here somewhere. Oh, it's right here. It's behind the broken barrel. So I know I just saw it, but that's what happens when I rearrange this shelf prior to me starting the stream, because I changed my mind on what I was going to do. So I had to do some things different. But yeah, no, the floral note is wonderful, wonderful. It's like how I enjoy the sweetbread note on a single malt Scotch. I just love that. I just love that note. It's just wow.
So AZ, generally I am with you. I'm usually not a big rum fan, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna show it again just so you can find this particular bottle. Let
me highlight it.
Yeah, this is at ABC's, so I assume that you guys can find it. It's a little hard to find, but it's not super pricey. I think it's around the $30 to $40 range. Give it a try and let me know what you think. Because I think it's fantastic. It's definitely rum, but it's not like what's that bull crap spice rum? I can't even think of the name right now. Whatever with the pirate on it.
You know what, Stacy? It may be. That's funny you should say that. That strikes a chord. I'm gonna have to call the guy that I know still has. I think he still has some, because him and his wife went to the Dominican for a little holiday just before the pandemic, and he brought that back because he likes it so much. He was there before, and so he they got more, and he brought it back. And when he pulled that thing out, and I seen the leaves and the twigs and the sticks and stuff in there, and I looked at him and I go, "You're joking, right?" He goes, "No, you're gonna drink some of this stuff." He says, "It either kill you or cure you." I said, "All right, pour it."
Yeah, so on all the chat after Stacey there. So yeah, this is nothing like I'm gonna say it wrong. I've had it before as well. This is nothing like that, AZ. It's nothing like Captain Morgan or Sailor Jerry. It's not any of those things.
I'm not picking on Captain Morgan's, but yeah, no.
This is a proper alcoholic beverage. It's not that bull crap. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you poured this for somebody and just told them it was a bourbon, you could almost pass it off. They would be like, "Well, it's kind of sweet for a bourbon," but they would not be totally thrown off. It's barrel-aged rum, so yeah, it has a lot of the characteristics of bourbon.
I saw what Commandant Lou said. I go, "What?" And I had to look up in the chat to see what he's talking about, laughing. Hey, maybe James will send us a picture with him and his foot on something with his pirate outfit on and his Captain Morgan's bottle.
Love how rum is always nautical themed. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it is kind of historical. I don't know. It's hard to say how historical that is, but yeah.
But yeah,
this bottle's worth a buy. It is very sweet though. So like what I would compare this to is something like a Woodford Double Oak or a Old Forester 1910, like in that range of sweetness. It's certainly up there.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, this thing still takes the cake with just 2 drops of water. This Frey Ranch, the store pick, is wow, it's phenomenal. But I love the proof. At 137 is really, really good. It's got that spice I really enjoy, and it's still coming back. Like I said, I'm back at it after the other ones I had, and it's just really good.
That's still the best of the night, huh?
Yeah, well, but that Jack Daniel's, like I said, surprised me.
Me too.
What happened with the water?
I got to say, Anthony, I'm happy you talked me into it because
it's not something I would have done. The water is just not something I would have done. But I really thought about it on the ride home, and I said, you know, to give it a proper shot, I'm going to do it. And so that's what I did. And I'm like, wow.
I would say the JD is the most improved with water of what I have. Yeah, and not that it was bad before. It's just that with a few drops of water, it's exceptional. Is that? It's on the. I guess it's in the right place. Anyway, I'm never certain.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. You need to do it, James. Honestly, you need to do it. And I'm sure you've probably got some shit bourbon or know somebody that does. That would be perfect.
So I'm sorry. So James, me and you have chatted many times. Does James have a channel that I'm unaware of?
No.
Okay.
He's just a very big supporter and over there across the pond.
Yeah, I know where he's at. I mean, me and James, we've talked many times. It's just, based on what Lou was saying there, coming up with an avatar, I was wondering if maybe he had a channel that he was trying to, market for or whatever.
No, that's just Lou giving his 2 cents.
Lou's my dude. Yeah,
He is. He's the man. He is it, and he's a good mod.
Yes,
he is a good mod.
And he's not here right now, but I have to say, Woods, if you see this in the future,
still living in the woods, yeah, he isn't here. I did not see him.
But man, he did a great job moderating last night. So
again, man, it's great to have these people in there that are mods. I mean, they really, really do help us immensely, and without them, some of the things we do in our channel success, it just wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
And remember this: just add 2 drops of wine or more to taste.
Heck yes, that's my suggestion.
I'm just going to say, you remember that, don't you?
So I'm going to try that with this Balcones.
I thought you did that last night.
No, not with the Balcones. No.
I thought you put that $2 chuck in there.
No, I don't believe I did any wine mixing last night. I did some Scotch mixing, and that was awesome. So I did what I do? I did a little bit of Ardbeg, just a splash, not even a splash of Ardbeg with the new Larceny, the A122.
That's right, because Rob was doing it. That's right.
But since we're on the subject, I got this yellowtail that I need to finish off. So. And I think this Balcones will blend well with the wine because it's very fruit forward. If I can get this friggin' cork out.
I thought you were going to bottle chug that thing or use a
no.
Oh, okay.
No. We're not on live wire.
Not on live wire yet. Okay.
So let's get a little Balcones going here because it's very dark fruit forward. So I think it'll blend well with the wine. I didn't think this out real well. I need a.
Where's your eyedropper thing?
It's here, but it's not going to reach down.
It will if you tip the bottle a bit.
There you go. Let's see here. Let's get the water out. Shake that out. Okay, let's see if we can manage this here.
That's why I'm here, dude. I'm here to help you.
That's it.
That's why I'm sitting to your right.
I feel like I'm going to spill wine.
That's okay.
All over my table.
That's all right.
I'm going to do it over the bottle just in case.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. It's okay.
Come on. Suck up some wine. No. I think we're just going to have to freehand it here. Wait.
You have no idea what the Mama Jamma's like. I've had that, and I think that's what it's called. That rum.
Got some wine. Okay.
I'm telling you, that rum will get you.
So here we go. We're going to do several drops. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's just do that. Okay. So we're going roughly 8 drops of this Yellowtail cheap ass wine. It is finished in whiskey barrels though, for what it's worth. So now we're going to have a wine finished Texas bourbon. Let's see how we do with this.
That's interesting. Top dog. That is. Um, I I don't want to say I passed on a pick from Oregon
Buffalo Prisoner.
with let me think of what I can't think of the name of it. However, it's a relatively new distillery in Oregon. They use MGP. Their stuff isn't quite old enough yet, but they aged it in wine barrels, and they get their wine barrels. And I forget which one it is, what kind of it's a Merlot or whatever, but they get their wine barrels from a winery that's not far from them. So when they need the barrels, they call the winery, and when the barrels get up there, they're still wet on the inside, and then they dump their juice in there and they age it for like 8 months in that barrel with their juice. And it actually
Anthony, I hate to interrupt you, man, but that was one of the greatest sentences you've ever said. They're still wet inside, and they dump their juice in it.
That's right.
Anyway,
exactly.
let's continue. Let's just move along and pretend that didn't happen.
That's right. They dump that juice in there, and it really. The guy was telling me how well that it has done, and he was surprised because it's a young juice. It's only about 3-4 years old, as far as the distillate that they use. But he said it's pretty good. And my wife kept looking at the bottle because it was more of a raindrop shape, so a tear. And they said it's to promote the water and the what's the term used? I don't want to say organic, but along that line, it's very pure. So I still pass on it because I'm not a huge wine type person. And so if it's a heavy wine influence, I may not like it.
See, so those are my two passions in life. I love whiskey like uncontrollably. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm a fanatic, as most of you already know. And then my second love is red wines. I don't really talk about that a whole lot because it's not really part of the channel, but I love red wines. I generally buy cheap stuff, if I'm being fair. But so when I find a really well done red wine finished bourbon, that's like this guy right here. And I've been told by many other bourbon drinkers that the wine kind of takes over in this. But
that's that, yeah.
Yeah, the Pfeiffer Pavitt XO. But man, I love it. I love the combination of flavors. And so that's kind of what I've been doing on my own, is just taking, and that's a great thing, is you can take a cheap wine like this and make your own. If that's your thing, you can make your own finished bourbon, basically. And yeah, exactly. I mean, that was we should probably clip that, Anthony. You should clip that, and
I probably should
throw it up as a short, and it would do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one would know what you're talking about except for us. But
exactly,
when it's still wet and then you dump your juice inside.
That's right.
Oh man. No, not cheese. Not cheese, AZ. Definitely not cheese. I hate cheese. But wine all day. Yeah. Invite only. I got to say, this Balcones is not bad with a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Really? Well, good.
Yeah, I mean, cause it kind of lends itself to that because there's a lot of those dark fruit notes anyway. And there was kind of that like grape jelly thing going on, and like the plums. And so, yeah, you throw a little wine in there.
What happened to the figs?
Yeah.
Or the prunes. That's what you said. The prunes.
Yeah. The prune note is kind of overwhelmed by the wine. So I think if the proof point on this Balcones was, say, 10 points higher, it would probably stand up to it better, but still nice. No, that's the thing, AZ, is you would definitely make the cut, because as budget bourbon boys, this is an $11 bottle of wine, so you could definitely make the cut. I really just I basically only used this bottle as an additive to whiskey, and it's done fantastic. I'm very proud of this little cheap bottle of wine. It's done really well. And what's nice is like still because of the balcones, you get that kind of mocha coffee finish, which is kind of cool with the wine going on. Yeah, it's nice. I'm happy with this mix.
Mm.
So, Anthony, what are your favorite like red wine finished bourbons?
None.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
Well, I don't like wine, but I do have an unopened bottle. Pardon my butt, but hold on. Got an unopened bottle of, I think this is it. Hold on. Nope, wrong one. I'm close. Right church, wrong pew.
We'll get it.
Yeah. Right church, wrong pew. Hold on. Let me move. What is it called? Is that the one Bourbon sent me? Yep, that's the one Bourbon sent me. Here it is.
So while Anthony's searching, to check.
Sorry about that.
No. Take your time, man.
I am.
I was just going to ask Chat, what are your favorite wine finished bourbons, if you have any? I know it's kind of a weird thing in the community because I'm looking for a bottle, the cap to my water bottle. It fell, and now I can't find it. Oh well. So yeah.
So I got the Piper Private, but I don't have the one you got.
Okay. So yeah.
And that's unopened. Because, they call cask strength at 50% ABV. And I was like,
well, what? It's not, because this is actual cask strength is 116.27. So
yeah. And I don't know why they call that, but that's what they call that. But neither here nor there.
So Joe, he did a comparison of the two. I don't know that I necessarily agree with his summation, but nonetheless, he thought that the XO was drying. I mean, it's as drying as any barrel proof, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's more drying than any of the ECVPs or anything like that. So, but I think what is true is that it's more complex and more interesting. So, but anyway, to each their own, right? So,
yeah, it's exactly right.
I got a little feedback there somewhere. I don't know what that was. It's the first time I heard that.
That was me. I hit a button, so the actual stream kicked in. And I'm like,
I got you.
Yeah, wasn't supposed to, but I'm working between the chat and other things. I'm like, that's what.
Top Dog, which Redwood Empire are you talking about? You talking about the 14-year stuff? They're putting, what is that? It has a weird name. It's like pencil stick, or it's
one of those.
Haystack. That's what it is.
Pencil stick, haystack, yeah.
Same thing. It's same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right? Haystack? Am I correct in that, chat? Yeah, it seems like if I'm saying it right, the haystack is I think it's port finished, like Top Dog said. So my favorite finishes are Cabernet Sauvignon, because that's the wine I prefer. So I like port okay, but I'm kind of a Cabernet Sauvignon guy, and not because it sounds fancier. I just like the wine better. I hope you're not hearing my washing machine too much.
No.
Okay, good.
Not at all.
Good, good.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so I'm going to wrap it up because I just realized it's 10 after and Livewire Whiskey's on. And
Oh,
I know,
yeah. Yeah.
I know we got into our conversation here and it was really good. So we're going to close it up, and I appreciate everyone coming on in tonight. Head over to Livewire Whiskey and just tell them that Bourbon Neophyte sent you. And I'm sure myself and Whiskey Wars will see you over there momentarily. So
For
just
sure.
want to say cheers, guys, and thank you for popping on in chat, and to you, Sean, for popping on live. And we will see you again next week. And reminder, make sure you watch because we'll be doing my subscriber celebration and my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. We're going to do it the same day. So cheers, everyone. Thanks for joining.
And hit that subscribe button, people.
That's right.